Are all the shoulder workouts you're doing not getting results? If this sounds like something you're struggling with, then this video was created for you. We're going to discuss exactly what you need to do to grow your shoulders and turn some heads while you're at it. Now, do you know exactly how important and complex the shoulder is? Functionally speaking, having strong shoulders will allow you to perform everyday activities we take for granted, like carrying groceries. It also is going to allow you to be really good if you're playing a sport. But honestly, we're all here for one reason. We want to look good. Big shoulders, it's going to give you that look of power. It's going to give you that look of authority. And as I mentioned just a couple of seconds ago, the shoulder's complex. It's basically a ball and socket that's held together by the deltoids, the rotator cuff, and the trapezius muscle. The deltoids in particular, it consists of 3 heads: the anterior, the medial, and the posterior. Each head plays a unique role in shoulder movement and stability, so it's so important to target all the heads of the muscle for overall development and to prevent shoulder imbalance. I'm pretty sure you've all seen somebody with rounding shoulders because they've never worked their side or rear delts. Listen, neglecting any part of the shoulder can lead to muscle imbalances and potential injury. So, now that we got that legally required safety portion out the way, let's talk about some training. If you want to get good at shoulder training, you're going to have to keep in mind a few things. You're going to have to pay attention to the volume, the intensity, and the variation of your workouts. You also want to pay attention to progressive overload. So many lifters tend to stay at the same weight and sometimes not even realizing it, that's just where they're comfortable at. You want to gradually increase that weight or intensity over time. You also want to pay attention to that mind-muscle connection. You want to focus on feeling that target muscle working during each exercise. Now, if you're saying to yourself, I'm really not that great at developing my mind-muscle connection, if you go ahead and check out one of my other videos discussing the lat muscles, I go into detail a little bit on how to feel that squeeze and really make that connection happen. You should go ahead and check it out. It might be of some help to you. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of this video by talking about some of the best shoulder exercises to get you that powerful look. But I also want you to remember, as we go through these exercises, form is going to be really important. We want to make sure we avoid any unnecessary injuries to the shoulder. The first exercise on the list is the barbell shoulder press. I also want to include the dumbbell shoulder press as well. They're both considered compound movements that primarily target the anterior deltoids along with the triceps and the upper chest. Now, the key point to this exercise, you want to keep the core engaged, you want to press the barbell overhead and bring it back to the starting position in a controlled manner. And I've said this in other videos, if you want to protect your shoulders during this movement, keep your elbows a little less than 45 degrees inward toward the midline of the body. So this next exercise is definitely going to be the exercise that's going to get people to take notice in your shoulders. This next exercise is the lateral raise. What I like best about the lateral raise is that if one workout doesn't work for you, there's so many variations to this exercise, you can literally have your pick. Let me know in the comments what's your go-to version of this exercise. I like using the cables. Occasionally I'll do an isometric hold either at the top or the bottom of the movement to ensure I'm creating tension along the spectrum. And actually, now that I think about it, that actually is a really good idea for a future video. Let me know what you all think. Okay, so the next exercise is the rear delts. Now I gotta say, if there's ever a muscle group that gets ignored, this is definitely going to be it. And there's a few out there. Calves. Now to target the often neglected rear deltoids, try rear delt flies. You can do them either standing or you can do them sitting. If you want to do them standing, first thing you would do is you would start with your feet about shoulder width apart, put a slight bend in your hips so this way your body's angled about 45 degrees or more to the floor. Grab a pair of dumbbells and let the dumbbells hang in front of you. You would swing the dumbbells out wide until your arms are about parallel to the floor. And I would hold that position with your arms extended out wide so this way you can get that isometric hold in your rear delts. Then what I would do is I would slowly, with control, bring your arms back to the starting position. I like to do the face pull and the rear pec deck. One of the things I like about them is that you get to take your time using lighter weight, which allows you to control that movement and really feel that contraction happening. So you're probably wondering why we didn't mention the front delt raises. And there's a pretty good reason. The average gym goer is so push dominant that the front delt is already developed or overdeveloped. But if you're one of those individuals that don't have well-developed front delts, then go ahead and grab yourself a plate or a pair of dumbbells and perform the front delt raises. Just make sure that you use a respectable weight. If you find yourself using your lower back to help with the lift, the weight's definitely too heavy. So for those of you who've been training for a while or looking to take that shoulder workout up a notch, try incorporating some advanced techniques into your shoulder workout. But a word of warning, before we move forward, I hope you have a high tolerance for that lactate burn. Now, one thing you can do is a drop set. Drop set is performing a set to failure, then immediately decreasing the weight and continuing for additional reps. If you're going to use dumbbells, make sure you have all the dumbbells ready around you. There's nothing worse than going to perform a set and not having everything that you need for that next set. You can also perform supersets. Now, superset is using 2 shoulder exercises back to back with minimal rest in between. My favorite is pairing the shoulder press with lateral isometric holds. You can either use dumbbells or bands, whichever is your preference. And the last one is partial reps. Partial reps work great as a finisher, especially with side lateral raises. Don't forget, none of this is possible if you don't have your nutrition right. If you want to make shoulder gains, you have to eat plenty of the big 3 macronutrients. Now, I won't hit you with all the details, but I have a video on foods that'll help you grow your muscle. Check the link in the comments and this pin at the top of the video. The shoulders are responsible for your push workouts and all your pull workouts. So if you really want to give the shoulders a break, do your workout right before leg day or maybe right before a day off. Make sure you get the right amount of rest, aim for about 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep, and consider incorporating active recovery activities. And that's it, nice and easy. I'm going to leave a sample shoulder routine in the comments for you below. This is going to give you a good starting point. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in our next video.